Hello everybody, Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Dawntrail. In the last episode, we went to go get some tacos from the taco joint here, and then we had a run-in with Bakul Jaja, which saw our tacos destroyed, unfortunately. We kind of learned a little bit more about him. Not exactly the nicest fellow. But then we went to the palace and met Gulu Jaja, Uklamat's father, who was dueling Estinian, because of course he was. And then we got the rundown of the other claimants and what the rite of succession is going to be. And so we were given these tablets with various scenes from the story of Gulu Jaja's formation of Tuliolol and the Tuliolol saga, right? And we need to go around the world, or around the nation, find some electors and get keystones from them by accomplishing their challenges they give us. So we need to figure out where to go first, and so we kind of settled on these two options here. The Pelupelu and the Hanu as our first stops. So we need to make a decision as to where we're going to go first, and get to it. So I think what we're going to start with is the Pelupelu. So let's start. The quest to Kusama Uka will become available once you have completed the quest series, beginning with the approachable Pelu. Yes, let's go. What is it you'd like to know? Our main concern was confirming the state of the road ahead. As I recall, to reach Urkopacha, we depart from the Arch of the Dawn, then take the road west at the first fork. Should we be wary of anything along the way? That is indeed the way to Urkopacha. After the damage wrought by the recent downpour, however, you'll be doing more stumbling than walking. But do take heart when it comes to rugged terrain. We have a most dependable solution available. Come with me. We'll be back to talk to you in good time, friend Hanu. Meanwhile, you can eat and drink to your fill at Shabalyav Tie, I think is actually how you would want to try to say that. It's all been arranged. Alright, so where are we going? Over by the alpaca stables. Very well. It's been a couple of days since my last recording, so we probably aren't going to see the same large crowds of people that we did initially. At least not here, anyway. May I introduce you to our most dependable companion, the alpaca? These animals can traverse Urkopacha's steep mountain trails as if they were gentle fields, all the while carrying heavy loads. Our merchants would be lost without them. So they fill much the same niche as our chocobos back home. You don't have alpacas in Eorzea? Alpacas are native to Yogg-Toral. Eorzea has its chocobos, and Easterlands have their horses. Why go to the trouble of breeding another pack beast in a place which ill suits its qualities and where it is not needed anyway? But must we ride these little monsters? I get the impression you aren't fond of alpacas. When I was small and being a bit naughty, I went around pulling on their wool. One of them spat on me. It was the foulest stench you can imagine. I see. What do they like to ride? Alpacas bred as mounts are inquisitive and docile. Even those without experience find them easy to handle. We're really doing this then. So, was my information useful to you? Yes, very helpful, even if it wasn't what I wanted to hear. Good, I'll take my payment now. You want me to pay you? I guess I should have expected as much from a Pelupelu merchant. Let me see what I have on me. The Pelupelu value the act of spreading joy through trade. As you should know, they take pride in making deals that benefit both parties. Here you go, a fair price for your fair advice. Yes, I made a trade with the third promise herself. My friends will never believe this. I shall be on my way now. I wish you safe travels. Well, off you go then, and thank you. I better not get spit on again. You brought that on yourself. Remain calm and gentle, and so will they. I'm still not happy about this, but if we need to ride alpacas to reach Orcopacha, then that's what we'll do. Alright. Alpaca ride.
Turali poets of yore sang of a mountain that would stand tall, even should all other lands sink beneath the sea. Indomitable and eternal, it arises from Urcopacha, the 100 peaks of time. Of all the beasts which crawl and fly, only the legendary Valigarmanda could hope to disturb the summit's serene majesty. Yet, with that flying calamity imprisoned by the Dawn Serpent, what great feat remains for those who would claim the throne?
That is a tall mountain.
So this is Orcopacha. I've never actually been here before.
The air is so crisp and clear.
Mountains everywhere you look.
That one massive peak in particular has quite the presence. It puts me in mind of Som-Al.
That is Workor Sormor, the tallest mountain in Yogg-Tural. Its sheer height makes it an imposing climb. But there are other reasons the ambitious keep their distance.
Oh? Do tell.
Where to begin?
Excuse me, but you're Wuk Lamat, are you not? I hadn't thought to encounter one of the Dawn's promise here, of all places. But I should introduce myself. I am Bol Nok, a weaver by trade.
Well met, Bolnok. We're on our way to Pelupelu.
Oh, truly, I've just come from there, as it happens. I'd asked the Pelupelu who sell me their wool to give me a tour of their alpaca ranch. The head rancher and I shared a bottle of mezcal while he explained the finer points of wool production.
Mezcal, is that a local beverage?
It's an Urcopacha specialty. A spirit made from distilled agave heart juice.
Yes, and it must have done wonders for my mood, for I tripled my usual order of alpaca wool. They did offer me a discount, though, so it wasn't a bad deal in the end. But listen to me, boring you with my tedious stories. I will leave you before you are lulled to sleep.
Oops. Accidentally clicked.
Oh, silly me. I almost forgot to say the thing I actually wanted to say. Peace for Tural. I agree with your vision, Third Promise. You have my support in your bid for the throne.
I gather from his tale we would be foolish to underestimate Pelupelu merchants.
Yes, they do more than run the markets in Tuliolal. Pelupelu peddlers can be found everywhere in Tural, traveling from place to place on their sturdy alpacas. They are effusive and engaging speakers, and many's the customer who's been talked into spending more than they bargained for.
They won't find this customer so easily charmed.
So you say?
Watchun Pelo's down the path! Off the main road! Don't get lost!
It's right there.
It's right there. So, mezcal. So they also have tequila, maybe? All right. Albino. I feel the change in altitude most keenly. While it may happen not to the same degree as the Sea of Clouds, the air is decidedly thin here. Alice? I could see more buildings down the path Bolnock was taking. I wonder what's over that way. And Kryl. The palace crowds were more supportive of our brothers, but Wuklamat's peaceful politics do have their quiet adherents, I see. Alright, Aaronville. This is it. Wachumpelo, home of the Pelupelu. Wuklamat should have arrived before us. That's not good. You've come all this way for the right of succession? Oh, this means I'm exchanging words with the future Dawn Serpent? But please, the outcome is far from decided, but it is a possibility. How fortunate then that I deal in cloaks woven from especially luxurious alpaca wool. Those garments would look magnificent when draped over the shoulders of our budding ruler. And a nation's ruler should dress her best for her adoring people, yes? Finery for our finest lady? That's right. Come, third promise, my well-stocked shelves are but a few steps away. Finest lady. I like the sound of that. Alright, I suppose a quick look wouldn't hurt. What did we just talk about? Aaronville, what did you... Ah, a Chitona from far-off Shaktaral. Northern winters are bitterly cold affairs, I'm told. I cannot imagine how you survive them without a lovely warm cloak of quality alpaca wool. No, thank you. I'm not in need of new clothes at the moment, and neither is the third promise. Perhaps another time. Of course, my shop door is always open. You were saying something about not being easily charmed? It was just... As I mentioned previously, the Pelu people live for bringing happiness through trade. They won't cheat you or sell you defective goods. They will, however, disarm you with their deft turns of phrase, and unwitting customers like Wuklamat fall prey to this affable approach time and time again. The only recourse is a clear and firm refusal. They won't pursue the matter should you make your disinterest plain. A valuable insight into the minds of the Pelupelu. Let us all take Erenville's words of caution to heart. Alright. They won't swindle you, they'll just talk the shirt off your back if you let them. Alright, Erenville. I swear, I let her out of my sight for one moment. Trial. Wuklamat is lucky to have Erenville. Everyone, royalty especially, needs a friend unafraid to chide them when the need arises. Alphino. But seeing the Pelupelu are also partial to coffee. I say. All these houses and buildings made to Pelupelu size. And mine too, come to think of it. For now. Give it a couple years. Yes, they're kind of cute structures, aren't they? Little palms on top. Wuklamat. Not my finest moment, I'll admit, but now that we're here, let's do what we came to do. Find the Elector. Allow me to propose a strategy then. Kryal, Alise, and I will speak with the merchants. Wuklamat, you and Erenville might try approaching travelers and passersby. Pray investigate any of the other establishments which catch your eye. Should we learn aught of use, let us relay it to the third promise. Alright, split up and search for clues. Very well. Well, first things first. Attune to the Aetherytes. Alright, so we got a few places to check here. Bait in the area. I'll worry about that later. The Dawn Servant Selector? Ah, I thought you were a new face in town. Here for the right of succession, I take it. Me, I don't much care who sits the throne so long as they keep Toral peaceful. People tend not to be in the mood to relax and sip our excellent mezcal once arrows and spears start flying, if you know what I mean. Speaking of which, would you like a cup? A joy shared is a joy doubled, I say. No, thank you. Oh, right, yes, you were asking about that Elector business. Being but freshly returned from my trading route, I've heard that there's a contest afoot, but not much else. Our head ledger, Tobly, could probably tell you more about it. Impatient Porter. Electors? Oh yes, I've heard all about the right of succession. They're looking to put a new rule on the throne, eh? Personally, I'm rooting for Zeralja. If the first promise wins, he'll look to expand our sphere of influence. That means access to more resources and more customers. In the thousands column, potentially. So many new trading opportunities to spread happiness far and wide. Others have been coming around to my way of thinking, so I've begun crafting goods inspired by the resilient sun. Would you care to purchase something? No thank you. Very well. You said you wanted to know about the Elector? I could help you, but I won't. I can tell you're no supporter of Zeralja or his policies. Very well. Each their own, I guess. Mablu. Hello there, I'm Moblu. Did you have a question for me? Sorry, I don't know about any electors. You should take a moment to see our prized alpacas before you leave, though. Oh, but be sure to admire them from a respectable distance. Get too close, and our nervous darlings may be tempted to spit on you, and that stuff stinks. It happened to a visiting buyer not so long ago. Tobley, that's the head rancher, was so mad at me for not giving a proper warning. No one makes a mistake without Tobley noticing. He knows everything that happens on this ranch. Sounds like this Tobley guy is the one we need to be talking to. Alright, Uklamots. Really have to watch yourself around these silver-tongued peddlers. I almost bought a bottle of mezcal and a stack of blankets. And then there was this enchanting ornament. Anyway, I did manage to learn that Tobley is the man to talk to about this contest. If only they'd share where this head ledger of theirs is to be found. Really? He's also the head rancher? Well, the alpaca ranch is not far from here. I say we pay a visit before the others return. Alright, back to the alpaca ranch. Alright. That's a lot of alpacas. Still, we know the head ledger could be here somewhere. I can't let fear deter me. No, not to say that I'm scared, of course. Excuse me, is one of these workers Tobley? Tobley? Oh yes, he likes to mingle with the ranch hands to keep an eye on things. I can't tell you which one he is, though. You can't? Is this part of the contest? All I can say is that Tobley often mentions his favorite pungent subject. He also can't resist a profitable trade, though who among us could, am I right? Still, if you bring him a very good deal, he might let his identity slip. Yeah, so it's like a game. Easy enough. All I have to do is offer Tobley a deal he can't ignore. No problem at all. Well, maybe one problem. I don't think my purse is deep enough to pay everyone we think might be Tobley. Let's ask him questions first to narrow down the field. Great. Now we can meet back here to share our impressions. Moblu? Well, obviously I'm not Tobley. I mean, oops, I shouldn't have said that. You're all meant to find out yourself who Tobley is, or if an elector is even in the village at all. Good luck. Boastful ranch hand. You think I might be Tobley? Well, maybe I am. All I will say that is in this village, none have reared more alpacas than I. Okay. Nonchalant ranch hand. Am I Tobley? Yes, that's me. Excellent work from the third promise and our entourage. Sharp instincts. Shall we commence with the right of succession then? Definitely not Tobley. Diligent ranch hand. Ah, a visitor from across the salt, if I'm not mistaken. Be warned, the alpacas will spit if you startle them. I suggest you keep your movement slow and deliberate. You mentioned the spits. Moblu here talked about how Tobley likes to talk about the pungent. subject, which the spit would qualify. I see we both done with our interrogations, so who do you think it is? I have my suspicions. Let's hear your pick. I think it's our diligent ranch hand who talked about the spit. The worker is so intent on stable chores. I have my eye on that one too, trying to rip the mask off our mystery ranch hand, so to speak. We know it's you, Tobly, and to prove it, I propose a deal. A generous sum of coin for confirmation of your true identity. An offer I gladly accept. As you have correctly guessed, I am indeed Tobly, head ledger of Pelupelu. Oh, and also head rancher, I think is what he said. I am also one of Gulu Jaja's chosen electors. Huh. In a place featured in the Tuliolal saga, just as we thought. I was right to trust in your instincts, and I wager this won't be the last time. Oh, a hit on the first try. Alright. She found you out fair and square, Tobly. I'm glad she did. Would have been a pity had her bid ended here.
Deducing the Dawnservant's elector was the first step of the feat. Too simple a task for this aspiring ruler, eh?
Right. Not hard at all.
Well, hello there. Zoralja.
Zoralja.
I am told the head ledger, Tobly, is to be found here.
You have to guess which one of us is Tobly. That's part of the test.
You're Tobly.
Good guess.
Without even asking a single question. Very impressive indeed. With that amusing prologue out of the way, we can proceed to the actual challenge. Per the Dawnservant's instructions, I was free to devise any manner of feat. I considered a number of possibilities in the 10th column. But I think I have a good one. You must go forth and capture for me an alpaca.
Okay then.
While I've not had the best experiences with alpacas, aren't they generally docile creatures? That doesn't sound like much of a challenge.
Bring out the example!
The example?
This is a special kind of alpaca. Would you please approach the animal, Third Promise?
Who? Me? Well, it should stay calm if I stay calm, right? That's what Erinville said.
Ah, right in the face.
Ah! The little monster spat on me! Ah, oh, that stinks. I can't.
Alpacas are paradoxical creatures, being both extremely curious and extremely cowardly. Press your luck when they're frightened, and you'll get a face full of spit, as you've all just witnessed. Has an awful stench, their expectoration. The globs contain half-digested food, you see, making it an effective deterrent against perceived threats.
Wild valley breed like this one are especially timid and can therefore be quick to lash out. They're also especially hardy.
Indeed. We take the rugged wild alpacas and breed them with our gentle domesticated stock. This produces the strong but beatable pack animals prized by our traveling merchants.
That's all well and good, but did I need to bathe an alpaca spit for you to make your point?
So, the task is to catch a wild alpaca.
That is correct. But be warned that it is a feat easier said than done. I suggest you prepare well before you enter the valley where the creatures dwell. And by you, I mean the claimants only. Allies are not permitted to assist with the catching. The alpacas will help me judge which of you is worthy of receiving a keystone.
So I'm to chase down a fluffy, spitting demon, and that somehow proves I'm fit to rule?
As I said, the Dawn Servant granted me the freedom to decide my challenge. And when you reach the end of the rite, I dare say you will understand why I chose what I chose.
Very well. This won't take long.
Wait! Didn't I warn you this was easier said than done? There are preparations to be made, factors to consider.
A beast is a beast. All yield to strength.
Right, and off he goes.
So far, this experience has done absolutely nothing to improve my opinion of alpacas. But that doesn't mean I can't do this. Revolting spit aside, they're just another animal.
Are you all right, Orclamat? We thought we heard you scream.
The third promise does not scream. It was more of a startled yelp.
In other words, a scream.
Scream, in other words.
Did you find the Elector?
Oh, we certainly did.
All right, give them the rundown. All right, Alphino. Judging by the volume of Wooklamot's scream, alpaca expectoration must have a nasty odor indeed. I'm content to remain ignorant of the smell. Anything? Zeralja puts me in mind of Garlemald's own exalted son. Of the two, though, Xenos was undeniably more arrogant. Trial. So this is our sought-after elector. Yes, Aaronville. I did say remaining calm was key, but the same rules don't apply to wild alpacas. Moblu? Impressed with how easily Zoraljo found Tobli, but also sort of frightened. Tobli. Let my duty and assign the claimants their feet. The rest is up to them. Okay. Wuklamots. Had to go and wash away that nasty stuff off my face. I think I got all of it. But would you mind taking a sniff for me? Just to make sure. The stench has ruined my sense of smell. Hey, I saw that look. Alright, Aaronville. As Wuklamont helped demonstrate, the Valley Alpaca are wary of people. Getting close enough to catch one will not be an easy task. You might have warned me about that earlier. I have enough trouble with tame alpacas. How do you expect me to wrangle a wild one? With a proper saddle. You infuse the leather with a relaxing scent that soothes the spitting beast. Wonderful. Give me one of those then. Have you perhaps forgotten we are a clan of merchants? If you want a taming saddle, then you'll need to find a saddler and make them an offer. They don't come cheap, of course. Crafting a saddle will cost you the equivalent of 10 pel in the thousands column. You mean 10,000 pel? I don't have that kind of coin. Converting to gil, that comes to around 1 million or so. Mayhap if we all pitch in? What was the conversion rate of pel to gil? 100 to 1. Okay. So, like, yen to dollar, for example. Okay. No, this is my feat to accomplish. I wouldn't feel right about having others pay the cost. I'll find the money somehow. In that case... that basket of wool is worth the sum you paid me earlier. 1 pel in the hundreds column. Beginning with the wool, you can trade for ever more valuable goods until you have something suitable to bargain with for the saddle. That's a nice gesture, but you think I can turn 100 pel into 1 million? That's 10,000 times more. We need 10,000 pel, not 1 million, so we're looking at 100 times more. Oh, right, I panicked and got it confused with Alphino's million gil. I'm not sure about this trading idea. You almost talked into buying a cloak you didn't need mere moments after you arrived. But I hate it when you're right. Then let me help you with your deal making. Hello again. Moblu. I work here as a ranch hand, but I've also learned a lot about the peddler profession. It's alright if I aid them now, yes? I guided the claimants toward the first step of the feat like you asked. As long as Wuklamot goes alone to capture her alpaca, she is free to accept assistance from whomever she likes. Hey, let's see about getting that settled then, third promise. I don't know why you made your offer, but I could use an ally with a beak for bargains. Welcome aboard, Moblu. The rest of us stay behind, perhaps? It may be easier to haggle over prices without so many voices chiming in. Yes, stay here and pitch in with the ranch work. With Moblu gone, I'll need extra hands to tend to the alpacas. Gladly, although I think you should go with Wuklamat. You've seen markets and bazaars the world over, and surely have sage advice to share. In that case, you should also hold onto the alpaca wool. If it's misplaced or soiled in some way, you'll have nothing to bargain with. As if I do know such a thing, but I'll leave the wool with the Yami anyway, the better to keep my hands free. Alright, to begin, I suggest we try trading the wool to Havley, the saddler. He won't agree to the deal, of course, but it'll give us an idea of how much he'll accept for his wares. Alright. Let's go make some deals, I guess. Try and turn a clump of wool into a saddle. Alright. Oblu. This is the artisan who makes our taming saddles. Okay. Is it really possible to make 100 times what that wool is worth just through trading? Yes, if one is smart about it. You need to come out ahead on all of your trades. Something I can do for you. We've come to bargain. I need one of your special taming saddles to catch a wild alpaca. A saddle, is it? And how will you be paying for it? With this basket of fine alpaca wool. What use does a saddle maker have for wool? Besides, this would barely cover the cost of a single strap buckle. Offer me something I actually want. And what might that be? Mezcal. I like to nurse a cup at day's end while I inspect my finished work. Bring me a jug of quality stuff and you've got yourself a deal. This bodes well for us, third promise. Such a mezcal can be had for only 5 pel in the thousands column. Hold on, did you say third promise? Well, my offer has changed. The saddle is going to cost you a jug of premium mezcal, aged 3 years at least. 3 years? That stuff is valued at 10,000 pel or more. Why have you doubled the price? Because I must support the man of ambition who will see my business prosper. Zeralja will go to war, and his cavalry will need saddles. Lots of saddles. It's nothing personal, third promise, but I won't sell you my craft for anything less than my asking price. The interesting position to hold. But makes sense to some extent. I can't say I blame him. I'm known for championing peace, and peace is unlikely to bring him more customers. Now, those of our grandparents' generation remember the dark days when the clans were at war. Many of these Pelu pray for your victory, Wuklamat. The younger ones, though, to them strife and bloodshed are as children's stories. They think themselves safe from these horrors and take the peace we now enjoy for granted. Still, others are unsatisfied with this quiet prosperity and crave the future the second promise envisions. They become obsessed with innovations like the dirigibles that have made trade swift and easy. Yeah, and those like Havley, convinced that the first promise's plans for conquest will afford them opportunities for great profit. War is good for business. What about you, Mablu? Aren't you of the younger generations? At least a year or two younger than me, I'd say. Oh, I was raised on the old tales. I memorized accounts of what it was like when the Yakoi ruled our village. So I offered to help. I want you to become Dawn Servant to keep our nation from going back to the way it was. Well then, I guess I better make sure I win the contest. But the type of mezcal the Saddlemaker wants is so very expensive. When we expected to need 10,000 pel from the outset, nothing's changed. We just need to get on with it. I may not have a head for trade or the stomach for alpacas, but I won't give up with a piece of Tuliolol on the line. Peace is also good for business. Then neither will I. We will make you Dawn Servant. Now, aiming for that 10,000 pel jug right away will only bring us failure and frustration. Let's try exchanging the wool for anything even a touch more valuable. The trick is to find someone who needs alpaca wool and is willing to trade at a loss to acquire it. Someone who supports your bid to the throne, for instance. Yes, the Weaver guy. Of course, the Weaver. Bolnock was his name, I believe. He went out of his way to say he agreed with my vision, and he was here to buy wool. I think I remember the direction he was going, but for now, let's head back to that road where we first met him. Alright. Let's go find this Weaver guy. Alright, this is the spot. After Bolnock talked to us, he walked off to the south. He was probably heading to Ikublo's Inn. Most visitors to Pelupelu end up staying there. Let's go and check, shall we? Alright. Here we are. We found the guy already. Alright. Can I have that basket, Ayami? Here you go. Thanks. Now, let's see if we can turn a profit. Bolnock, I'm glad we found you. Are you interested in making a trade? A third promise. You wish to do business with me? Why don't you ask what this is all about? I see. So the goal is to turn that basket of wool into a jug of 3-year-old premium mezcal? Allow me to invest in your efforts. Peace in Tyrol is what allows me to cross freely into the lands of my suppliers. Naturally, I would prefer that one pledge to preserve that peace win the throne. Thus do I humbly offer you this wool poncho, a small token that I pray contributes to your victory. That's fine craftsmanship. A garment like that would easily fetch 5 pel in the hundreds column. That's very generous, Bullnock. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. Alright, I have every faith in you, third promise. May fortune bless your future dealings. I can't believe you quintupled your investment with your first deal. We're off to a spectacular start. Only because Ayame remembered our weaver friend. All I did was hand over the wool. That's not true. The connections you build with people are vital. This is one of the most fundamental precepts of trading, one which you've instinctively mastered. You think so? I know so. Now, let's take our 500 pel poncho and trade it for something even more valuable. Here, Ayame, you take the poncho. If I lost it somehow, Aaronville would never let me hear the end of it. Alright, well, hold on to the poncho. All set. Our next deal is waiting to be found. Excellent trade. Success. You traded a 100 pel basket of alpaca wool for a 500 pel wool poncho. Alright, what's next? Find someone who needs a poncho. Alright, leveraging connections is a sound strategy, but we should also consider supply and demand. An individual in urgent need of a good poncho will offer more than a merchant simply looking to stock his shelves. That makes sense, but how do we know if someone needs a poncho? They aren't wearing one. That's the obvious answer, isn't it? We look for a person without a poncho and hope they're eager to buy ours. Yes, there you go. We find the demand for our supply. So where should we begin our search for prospective buyers? There are any number of places, but we could do worse than starting right here at the inn. There might be interested travelers. Who needs a poncho? A lot of Mamluja hardly wear anything to begin with. Those are probably Landsguard or sellswords. Mamluja who soldier for a living prefer not to wear much above the waist. It hampers their movements. So even if they have bared shoulders, Mamluja carrying arms can be struck off the list. Okay, let's see. You have a sword, so no. You have a poncho, so no. You have a pole arm of some description on your back, so you're a no. And you look like a promising potential customer. Alright, disconcerted Hubigo. Let's see, no coat or cloak, but also no weapon. Oh, we might have a winner. Ho there, friend. You're not a mercenary by trade, right? I was curious about your bold choice of dress, or lack thereof. Oh, it was no choice of mine, believe me. I was attacked by beasts on the way here, and barely escaped with my scales intact. My coat was not so lucky. I'm actually a toolmaker from Tuliolal, and was dressed quite smartly. All the better to show the Pelu I am a man who takes pride in appearance, and therefore his work as well. But now look at me. Well, sir, this is your lucky day. We happen to have a poncho you could wear. What a splendid poncho. This would be the perfect replacement for the coat I lost. We'd be willing to part with it, if you'd like to make a trade, for one of your fine tools, perhaps. What about this hatchet? I crafted it myself and will vouch for its quality. The blade looks sharp. The half well made. I'd value it at 1 pel in the thousands column. Oh, from 500 to 1,000? We have a deal. Wonderful. A fine garment such as this should put me on even footing with any Pelu merchant. Like the eponymous owner of Meeplu's Mate Garden, for one. Her field hands use hatchet to harvest the mate, and I thought to impress her with the tool I sold you. No matter, I have other wares to sell. I'm glad I am to have met you. Did you hear? We've already found our next buyer. To Meeplu's mate garden we go. Yes, but it's a fair distance on foot. We should take alpacas. These ones will be the calm type, right? Excellent trade. 1 wool poncho for 1 fine hatchet, and we doubled our investment. Yeah, you traded a 500 pel wool poncho for a 1,000 pel hatchet. And overall, we are an order of magnitude in the black. Excellent. But I think this is where we're going to go ahead and end our episode. We'll take our alpaca ride when we come back. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.